So this next topic is something that I think people are not paying enough attention to on either side of it, to be honest, because I think a lot of people think, well, it doesn't really affect me. And the topic is bail reform. And a lot of us might be thinking, well, I'm not in jail, haven't been in jail, don't plan on getting arrested, so why should I care? And the answer is, well, you should, especially if you're in California right now. And joining us is Eric Siddall. He is Los Angeles Deputy District Attorney, and he's going to bring us up to speed on what's happening in California and how it affects other places that are facing similar decisions. Sir, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So kind of give us an overview of the topic before we get into the particulars, if you would.
Okay, so right now there's a bill that's going through our legislature, SB 10. Basically, is a bill that would eliminate pre-trial custody. In other words, right now, if you are charged with a crime, you have to post bail. And for the most part, in Los Angeles County, for example, and I'll just focus on LA County because that's where I work and I'm familiar with the system here. If it's a misdemeanor, if it's a lower level offense, you're already released on your own recognizance. In other words, a judge you go before a judge within 48 hours. The judge says, look, it's a minor offense. You have no criminal record. We're not going to disrupt your life. We're going to let you go. And that's what happens with the vast majority of people that get processed through the system. We keep in the violent offenders and the serious offenders. In other words, a gang member who goes and shoots at some civilians, someone who's committed murder, attempted murder, things like that, robbery. Those are the people who are generally in custody in LA County. Okay. The legislature, because they're totally influenced and completely in the pocket of the ACLU here in California, have proposed a bill that would eliminate bail for everyone, including the most violent offenders. Even people, we would even have to start proving up our cases before any major court proceedings, even on people who are being charged with a death penalty case. It's a system that is this new bill, the entire system is aimed to dismantle pre-trial detention. In other words, keeping people in custody before their trials.
What's the reasoning behind this? What was the selling point to this?
So they created this false narrative that there were all these poor people being rounded up, placed in custody, losing their jobs, losing their homes, and becoming destitute because of the criminal justice system. They created this false narrative that this was something that was only aimed against the poor. And that's just simply not the case. Our bail system in California, especially in LA County, is controlled by the judges. It's not, us, the DAs, don't control it. It's the judges who ultimately make the decision, and they make the decision based upon public safety. That's the primary concern of when a judge makes a determination that you should remain in custody. Their primary concern right now is public safety. Safety of the victims, the safety of our witnesses, and trying to keep the general public safe from these people. This system completely upends that. It basically says that their presumption is going to be that a person gets released from custody.
So if that's the case, whenever we watch this stuff on TV, most of us are not attorneys, certainly not judges. When we watch this stuff on TV, the judge would say, okay, you're a danger to everybody, so we're going to set the bail at something astronomically high just so you can't get it. Why was that system not working?
Well, first, I personally don't like the bail system. I think it should be done on a risk assessment. I don't see why, if you pose a severe danger to the community, why you should even be allowed to post bail. But in general, the system was working. There was not that, there weren't that many flaws. If anything, the system does benefit wealthy people in terms of leaving the jurisdiction. You post bail, then you leave. But in terms of this, great outcry that it's somehow hurting the poor, this is just a complete fabrication. I mean, I would love them to start giving us some actual numbers. They always bring out these statistics about everything else. Where are the stats about this? Where are the facts on the ground about how bail is ruining the lives of the urban poor? They don't have them. So they just say this is what's happening. But they don't provide any actual cases to show that this is truly harmful. And then they present these studies about, there's tens of thousands of people in custody for pretrial. Well, what they don't ever do is they don't ever whittle down the numbers and say, how many of these people are there for other reasons as well besides their current trial? For example, if you're on parole and you commit another crime, you could have a no bail parole hold or a no bail probation hold. They don't consider those numbers as well. And when you actually start to drill down on the numbers in terms of, for example, in the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, maybe about 25% of the people in custody in jail right now, you have to understand our jails are primarily used for trial services. Only about 25% of those people are in there on a bailable offense.
So maybe the argument is that the cost to the taxpayer is too much for having them. It would make more sense just to let them out.
Well, if that's the rationale, this is the most foolish idea, in recent memory. And there's been a lot of foolish ideas to try to save the taxpayers' money, because all this is going to do is what's happened in places like New Jersey is that you're just going to have the cops catching the guy. He's going to be placed in custody, and he's going to be released. Then he's not going to show up, and then we're going to have to catch him again. Then he's not going to show up, and we're going to catch him again. This is the worst form of catch and release. I understand if you're going trout fishing and it's a little small, you release it, but these are pretty big fish, and we're just going to continue to release them. That's a tremendous amount of waste. Also, the system that they're thinking of implementing here in California would probably run the taxpayers about $2.5 billion, because there's going to have to be a new agency that's created. This new agency is going to look at the risk and analyze the risk of each individual person. There's going to have to be new DAs. There's going to have to be new. Look, I'm vice president of our labor union for the District Attorneys Association. This is actually good for us, this bill, because frankly, it's not going to harm us personally, right? It's probably going to be more work for us, so they're going to have to hire new DAs. It's a great, if you want...
Well, sir, hold on one second. We're up against a break. We'll take the commercial, come back. Don't go anywhere, folks. Want to be the smartest person you know? Then keep listening. This is the Josh Tolley Show on GCN Radio Network.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive. Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps, the ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Visit GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
Will the government protect your family from Iran and North Korea's newest weapon, EMP? We buy guns to protect ourselves, home, health, and car insurance for accidents. Maybe you also have food storage. But how would you keep your refrigerator running in a long-term EMP blackout? Using tested military designs, the Solarc EMP-hardened solar generator protects and powers your critical appliances for years without burying items underground or wrapping them in aluminum foil. Unlike other preps, Solarc is used every day to help offset your electric bill automatically. Visit PortableSolarLLC.com to learn how easily expandable the system is. Solarc is the most affordable and powerful solution on the market. The whole system even fits in the back of a pickup or SUV and can install in less than an hour. See for yourself why Solarc beats other off-grid systems at PortableSolarLLC.com. Don't wait for the government. Go to PortableSolarLLC.com to learn why Solarc is energy insurance for your family.
For P150, P150GA, P150NY, P150OK, P150TN, C250A, C250E, C250Q. Not available in all states. If New York or Colorado, call for a similar offer.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company, 1-800-656-9775. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away. So you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. Call now for a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-656-9775. That's 1-800-656-9775. 1-800-656-9775.
All right, we're talking to Eric Siddall. He's Los Angeles Deputy District Attorney, and we're talking about bail and should the system be done away with, changed, altered. And, you know, it's interesting, Eric, a listener during the break messaged us and said, well, why don't they do a form of hybrid then? So your first release, do it according to the new system. Maybe, you know, hey, you're not a threat first time in. Then after that, no more outs for you. But what about the argument that says, well, maybe this is a response to the bail bondsman who kind of price gouged some of these poorer people and this is relief from that system?
Look, I like I said earlier in the show, I'm not a fan of bail as it is right now. I think it should be reformed, and you know, I agree. I think there are problems with the bail system right now. The problem right now is the way that this bill is written and the way that it has been advocated and implemented in states like New Jersey, is that it is designed to end pretrial detention. That's what the aim is. That is what the goal is. That's what they're trying to do. They don't want people in custody unless they have been convicted, and then they want to release them early. So, you know, this is part of the whole narrative that society is bad and the criminal justice system is bad and it is racist and it is an awful, horrible system aimed against the poor. That is simply a false narrative. The people who are affected by crime on a daily basis, the people who are most affected, who suffer the most murder rates, who have the most chance of getting assaulted, robbed, are people in poor urban communities. They're far more likely to be attacked than anyone else in our society.
Yeah.
That's why I find this whole, bail reform bill so offensive, because it really does, it tries to advance an argument that just simply is not true. If they want to go out and advocate and say, you know what, we don't think that people who are being tried for murder should be in custody because we don't think that our system of justice, our system of justice has a presumption of innocence, and that presumption of innocence should attach from the moment you're arrested. Fine, make that argument and see if the public buys it. But don't try this underhanded way of trying to make it sound scientific. They say there's going to be this algorithm that's going to make a determination whether someone should be held in custody or not. But then you look at the details of this, and they don't want us to use the prior criminal record as a leading indicator about whether they should be kept in custody. The bill in California, as it is drawn, the very end of the bill, in like page 40 or something like that, the very, very end of the bill says that you're not supposed to use a defendant's past criminal record or give undue weight to a defendant's past criminal record because it's considered racist.
It's considered racist?
Yes. It is because it desperately impacts people of minority communities and lower economic communities. That's what the bill says. That's in the language of the bill.
That's crazy.
That's going to be the standard. Your listeners said that, why don't we have a system where, you get one, freebie of a failure to appear. Well, under this bill, it actually says we have to show that the failure to appear in court was willful, which is an impossible standard. Unless you work in the courts on a day-to-day basis, you don't understand how almost impossible that standard is. Unless the suspect or the defendant says, "Yeah, I willfully did not show up," you're never going to be able to prove that's willful. This bill and the way that these reforms have been advanced. I don't know. There was a New York Times editorial by our state senator Kamala Harris and Rand Paul of Kentucky this weekend, where they're proposing a federal bill to try to implement these reforms. These reforms are not common sense reforms to help ensure that minor offenders and people who are who we know are going to show up. These reforms are a blanket reform that will affect everyone from the simple shoplifter to the mass murderer. And that's where I have the problem. If this was only about misdemeanors and someone picking up a pair of Pampers at their local market, I wouldn't have a problem with this. I don't think anyone would. That's not what this is about. This is about keeping the absolute worst offenders in custody. What type of message does our criminal justice system send when you report a crime and 3 days later, the gang member that you reported on is now sitting on his front porch looking at you? You think that witness is going to think, hey, you know what? I guess the criminal justice system is for me. Or are they going to think, and rightfully so, you know what? I'm not going to stick out my neck. I'm not going to report crime. I'm not going to be involved in this. Because when I went out and stuck my neck, they just released him immediately afterwards.
Oh, yeah, that part's true. Yeah, absolutely. But here, it's kind of like a tough place to be in, because part of the problem with the criminal justice system that we have now, if I got arrested, I would love to have the bail system because it allows me to get out, and if I'm innocent, man, some of these cases, it could be a year until you have your trial, so you're sitting in jail for a crime you didn't commit for a year because there wouldn't be a bail system. Well, that's not good. But to add language about it's racist or, you have to determine that they missed their appointment willfully, that's not good either. So it's almost like it's a lose-lose.
Can I respond on the year-long trial schedule thing? Because I think what most people do not understand is that we as prosecutors, we as the government, we don't control the trial schedule. We do not control the trial schedule. If someone gets arrested in California, from the moment they get arrested to the moment they're entitled to a trial is 90 days on a felony. Okay? Whenever you hear about trials going longer, that's because the defense has asked for a continuance. They want more time. So, when you're the one who's in custody and you're the one who's asking for more time, I think then the burden shifts on you. I don't see why we should be blamed about, these people languishing in custody for years and years waiting for their trial. We'd rather have our trials conducted quickly because our evidence is always better when it's fresh. Memories are always better when they're fresh. So we don't, as prosecutors, as law enforcement, we actually would like trials to go faster. We always want them to go faster.
So, well, that brings up a whole slew of questions, too, about the justice system, this idea that conviction rates are important for promotions and all that sort of stuff. And
I'll tell you that is complete nonsense. I mean, at least in the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, that's nonsense. That's not, DAs are not looking at our supervisors aren't looking at our conviction rates and determining who gets promoted because of that. That's just, that's not what happens in our office. I can't speak about other DA offices, but that does not happen in LA County.
So how do we balance the liberty that the law is supposed to provide and then the security which the people want? And we'll get to that on this last segment coming up, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
You want to save money in a place that gives you growth, control, and certainty without stock market risk or tax risk, and you want guarantees and you want it all tax-free. That's a tall order. But you can get all of that with properly designed participating whole life insurance. Most people think life insurance pays after you're dead. That's true. But you can have tax-free access to use your life insurance while you're alive. Get the free book to find out how. Call 702-660-7000.
When fresh liquid whey is processed into a dry powder, the special proteins that make up the whey lose their original shapes. They fold in on themselves and lose their functional value. One World Whey undergoes a technological enhancement that we believe restores these potent proteins back to their original shapes the body can use.
I chose to try One World Whey first before going to a doctor who would likely only prescribe drugs. To my delight, it worked. After stabbing pain for years, to have it completely gone is a miracle. I'd like to also stress that, for me, it took several months of taking One World Whey before I had improvement, and then an entire year for my gut to feel 100% healed. So now I tell my friends, give your body time to make use of the healing power of One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld, WHEY.com.
Love or loathe him, Donald J. Trump is our 45th president. There is no denying now that Trump will go down in history, both despised and admired. Commemorate Trump's presidency with your very own Trump Silver bust from TrumpSilverStatue.com. This museum-quality heirloom Trump Silver Statue bust is hand-cast from 20 troy ounces of silver, a great investment. From TrumpSilverStatue.com. Loathed or loved, own a valuable piece of Trump's legacy. Get your solid silver Trump bust today at TrumpSilverStatue.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Identity theft is going to ruin your life if you're not prepared. Hi everyone, this is Paul with Liberty ID. Hey, millions of Americans fall victim every year. Odds are your identity has already been compromised, and alerts aren't going to save you. The solution is restoration, and the only company that provides a money-back guarantee is Liberty ID. Go to Liberty ID and use the promo code FREE TRIAL for 60 days free. That's LibertyID.com, promo code FREE TRIAL for 60 days free. Cancel at any time. Liberty ID is the industry leader in identity theft restoration, with a 100% success rate in restoring our subscribers' identities no matter how they're stolen. Liberty ID fixes the fallout for you. Liberty ID does the work, but you have to be prepared. Go to LibertyID.com, promo code FREE TRIAL. LibertyID.com, LibertyID.com.
Are you one of the 15 million men who suffer from an enlarged prostate? If your life revolves around finding the closest bathroom, if you're tired of waking up many times a night to urinate, then you need to know about Prostate Miracle. Prostate Miracle contains beta-cetylsterol, which is 3,000 times stronger than salt palmetto. To claim your $10 Patriot discount, go to prostatemiracle.com and enter promo code PATRIOT. Or call 877-965-2140. That's 877-965-2140.
So we're talking to Eric Siddall, LA Deputy District Attorney, and the question before the break is, how do we balance liberty with safety? And isn't this an example of part of that struggle when we decide who should be free and who needs to be locked up, and where that balance is for those who have yet to be tried?
Well, that's what we do every day in terms of the populations that are going through our court system. Is we have judges make that determination. A defendant has a right to a hearing on his bail. I'm only using he because that's the majority of our inmates are men. He has a right to bail review. So this is not something that's, it's not like we have, some brilliant guy from the ACLU just figured this out. This is something we struggle with every day, and we have judges. That's why we have judges. We have a pretrial service that goes and makes an analysis of this and presents a report to a judge. So this is not, this does happen. It happens on a daily basis.
But when
the law
the judge...
right now, in terms of the current state of the law says that, we always hear the presumption of innocence. You're presumed, innocent until proven guilty. That presumption is during the trial. It does not occur at the pretrial stages. So we charge someone. The judge presumes that the charges are true, and works from that angle. I'll tell you, I've seen judges release people on murder cases on their own recognizance, without having to post any bail. They look at the circumstances and they make that determination.
But would this bill take away that judge's ability to do that, or would the judge still be able to say, hey, you know what, you need to stay here, I'm not, letting you go?
Actually, in a sense, it does. it vastly strips the ability of a judge to keep someone in custody, because the judge still has to follow the law. And if the law says that the presumption is that you get released, the judge has to work off of that presumption. And the judge is going to have to rely, according to the law, is going to have to heavily rely upon the reports that are produced by this independent agency. So it becomes these bureaucrats with this algorithm that make a determination whether someone gets released or not the judges.
Wow.
This is why our state judges have written a letter against this proposed bail reform.
Well, and what's crazy is, I guess the most famous bounty hunter that most Americans are familiar with, the Chapman family, they're fighting this as well. So you have the DA's office and you have the bounty hunters fighting this. Let's go to Jack in Maine, who has a question for you. Jack, you got a question for the guest?
Well, yeah, I'd like his opinion. As you've said many times, Josh, this form of government, this form of justice system we have is only meant for a moral and religious people. For all others, it is wholly unacceptable. Now, everything's so out of balance. I have, the example that I use is I could, 1 hour before my daughter was born, I could have conspired to have her killed. And no repercussions whatsoever. But if the policeman is standing on the street here with a pair of binoculars, he can have me stopped and give me a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. And if I do that 3 times, I will go to jail. The system that this DA is arguing, he's absolutely correct. The system is totally broken. We need to come up with better reforms, things that we can make it a justice system rather than just us.
All right. Thank you for the call, Jack. Do you have a comment on that? Well, it wasn't exactly related, but do you have a comment on that?
I don't think it was related. I understand what his question was about. That's more about issues of abortion, and I'm not sure it's related to the bail issue.
Do you think, though, when he mentions the 3 seatbelt tickets you go to jail thing, do you think we're arresting too many people for too many things, and that's just adding to the burden, which makes people look at the whole system?
Do we overcriminalize it? Probably. There's probably too many. If there's way too many. Our penal code section in California is enormous, and it's. I think that there's probably an overcriminalization of things, and if you look at, a good example would be gun laws. I mean, we have all these very strict gun laws, but then they keep adding more and more and more layers to the gun laws, and they're really aimed at only attacking, good, honest citizens who happen to own guns. So I think there is a overcriminalization on certain issues.
Have you ever in your career seen a criminal that was going to commit a crime, realize that there was a law against it, and say, oh, well, you know what, on second thought, I guess I just won't shoot this guy?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Well, what I'm referencing is you said that there's all these gun laws, and it's a topic that regularly comes up, that criminals don't listen to the gun laws anyway. So by passing all these laws doesn't make anything sense.
You mean, is the criminal going to say, you know what, I'm not allowed to own a gun, therefore I'm not going to own a gun and not go and shoot someone? Never.
Yeah.
It's absurd. Like, gang members who are committing these crimes, they never own a legal gun. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a murder case where the gun was legally registered to the person who was committing the crime.
Wow. That's a huge point right there.
Yeah, no, it's the fact is that, should we regulate ammunition? I think that's probably a good idea, because these gang members can go and buy ammunition at stores without any type of identification. So do I want sensible gun regulations? Yes. Do I think that just trying to criminalize legal gun ownership is good? Absolutely not.
Yeah. So when it comes to this, though, I mean, again, this is applying to what would be felonies, correct?
The bail reform, it applies to every type of crime. It doesn't just apply to misdemeanors. It applies to felonies. It applies to the most serious felonies. It applies to violent felonies. It applies to capital murder cases.
So if you were to say you're living in California, you know this is coming about, you are in an area of town that might be subject to a lot of crime, would this be enough for you to say, time to get out of here, let's move someplace else? Because there's pros and cons to this. Part of me thinks, man, if all these people just get arrested for something, then they get back out, they're a criminal. They're never going to show up for the court date. I would leave.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think if you're first of all, I think if you're the criminal who's arrested and gets released, I mean, the rational thing would be to leave, because it's harder for us to get you even if you move to a different state. It's harder. We have to extradite you. It's not a simple process. So I would leave, and then you go or you leave the country, and then we really can't get you. So
what can people do? Let's say they've listened to this. We have a ton of listeners in California. How do they get involved?
They need to write to they need to call, actually, their state assemblyman and get them to act, to vote against SB 10. That's what they need to do. They need to make sure that this does not pass. It's Senate Bill 10. It was defeated already. The companion bill, which is AB 42, was defeated in the Assembly, but they're going to propose it into the, they have until the end of September to try to get it passed in the State Assembly. They're trying to twist a lot of arms to get this done. If they get this passed, we might as well fold up our tent and just let the criminals run the streets.
Just for reference, how long have you been with the DA's office?
10 years.
10 years. Wow. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. I appreciate your input on this topic.
Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your attention on this issue.